As the lead network security engineer at a multinational corporation, you are tasked with enhancing the data transmission security between your company's regional headquarters and remote offices. After performing a security audit, you discovered that sensitive data is often transmitted across the network unencrypted. To address this, you plan to implement a solution that ensures data confidentiality, integrity, and efficiency during transmission without significantly impacting network performance. Which approach should you take to achieve this goal?
I was wrong there.
Yeah, I didn't know. Let's take a look.
Let's see the explanation.
Yeah, I guess because of the overhead and complexity is correct.
Yeah, I know the explanation said the other approach wouldn't require changes to the network, right? The SSL approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question actually come across like something that will require a VPN, like site-to-site VPN, right? That's why I went for that. I'm still taking the question. You will agree that B is fine, right?
It does make sense.
All right.
There's a lot of words there.
Yeah. So yeah, this B is talking about the application, level traffic, but the question doesn't talk about any application level traffic at all, right?
Exactly what I'm saying, because B is actually on HTTP application level encryption here, but this question is talking about data transmission, which must not actually be HTTP transmission, which can be anywhere it can be file-to-file transfer and whatever. That's why I thought VPN would have been the best option, because the TLS SSL application level, I am very sure they're talking about HTTPS, and that's not what this question is asking.
No, I agree. It's very confusing. I'm trying to.
Yeah, this question is not asking about application level encryption in whatsoever way. This is HTTPS they are talking about, and that's not what this question is talking about. If I want to, I should flag it. You want to look at it later, right?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
But I'm looking at other explanation.
Even the explanation is not Teddy is not giving me what I should I want to hear this time. Of course. Let me put it out.
But I think the big thing that eliminates it is that overhead, and that all traffic will be running through that.
You can implement an open VPN and it's not that expensive. It must not do. Okay, what did they say? IPsec?
Yeah.
The IPsec. Yeah, I understand, but this question was not directly talking about application level.
I agree.
That's my
And the
issue.
mission. I'm looking for words that make me think about the application layer. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, big red, please.
I would say one thing that says integrity, efficiency, doing transmission without significant impact. If you did IPsec, you will impact the connection.
It will or it won't.
It would impact the connection.
In what way?
Because, like you said, it's more overhead. You're doing a tunnel mode. That would be more used for site-to-site VPN. And it doesn't. Hold on, sorry. That would be more for VPN. And they didn't mention anything about VPN. And they trying to.
As a matter of fact, the integrity part of this question is actually what the ESP implements. The ESP part of the IPsec actually is in charge of that integrity. If you want to look it that way, yes. If you want to look it in that direction, because does TLS actually implement integrity always? It doesn't implement integrity always. It's about confidentiality. That's not a major thing it implements, encryption, right? But you see, this ESP on VPN is directed towards integrity, actually. Yeah. So, in both ways, in all ways, but the fact that this question was not talking about application level encryption.
And didn't say anything about that. That's true.
Yeah. So, and of course, the integrity part is two ways to flag the question. We'll go to the next one, but I have my reservation about the question here.
I agree. If it's hard to learn from, it's not a great question, even if it can be justified.
Right.
A large financial institution is facing increasingly sophisticated attacks on its internal network. To mitigate these threats, the institution has decided to implement a series of network security measures. As part of this effort, the network security team is considering the deployment of an intrusion detection system (IDS) and an intrusion prevention system (IPS) at strategic points in their network. The primary goal is to not only detect but also prevent unauthorized access and attacks. Which of the following strategies would best achieve this goal? while minimizing false positives and maintaining high network performance.
From the answers coming, we have more options for B, deploy host-based IDS and all endpoint network-based IPS at the perimeter.
Yeah, this one's tripping me up a little because increasingly sophisticated attacks on its internal network.
I didn't get that.
The host space. Yeah. The only reason I thought D is because it is both at the network, but
I'm actually looking at C.
okay. Oh, excuse me. Yes, that's what I meant.
IPS, the IPS. Which one has IPS at the perimeter? Any option like that? Oh, okay. IPS at the perimeter. Yeah, that should be it. That's B there. That's more like B.
Yes, B is on the perimeter.
So let's go with B. We have more options for B.
Right. So what? And this right here, that's a good one right here because a network IDS on the perimeter. So you use a network IDS to detect on the perimeter and use a network prevention on the inside.
Okay, that's helpful. Rule of thumb.
I don't say you would not get a lot of more false positives.
Right.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. So that even when the intrusion goes beyond the perimeter, the host will take care of it. The host IP, not just Albert, will go ahead to block. You know,
right.
Like dropping the packets or you know.
You know, I just one thing. You know, this in the real world, I would say in the real world. Usually, if you get on an internal host, you're trying to get out of that network.
Right.
So the remote threat actor can have control internally. That's the part that's kind of confusing. So in the real world, I'm like, well, they will want to get out of the environment so they can control the environment to put ransomware or services. So
IPS would stop that, no?
IPS would stop it internally, but it actually will stop your internal users from getting out as well.
Right.
Unless you can define what threats are coming from. You the space you have been like a lot of false positives. You have to do a lot of tuning in a real world scenario. So
interesting. Can you put the IPS like in a DMZ maybe or something like that? That makes any difference?
Yeah, the DMZ would be for your web facing services. Yeah, but it's not about being right, it's about passing the test. All right.
Do you have any reservation with the answer? Can we move forward?
Yes.
All right.
XYZ Corporation is implementing a new network designed to enhance security across their geographically dispersed offices. They have decided to segment their network into multiple VLANs to isolate different departments, such as HR, finance, and engineering. They also plan to deploy a network intrusion detection system NIDS that will monitor traffic across these VLANs. However, they are concerned about the potential latency introduced by the NIDS and want to ensure it can effectively monitor inter-VLAN traffic without becoming a bottleneck, which is the most appropriate deployment strategy for the NIDS in this scenario to balance security and performance.
Well, I initially said B because I thought that segmenting it somehow might reduce the overall throughput, but A does make a bit more sense when I reread it with the port mirroring, although I'm just taking my best educated guess on that one.
Anyway, I'm thinking C because the internet gateway is a more centralized point of the network whereby effort should not be duplicated and the bottleneck they were talking about will probably not be there because I don't know. That's why I initially said B, but I came back to C.
Yeah, the potential latency wording. I think this just comes down to actually knowing the technical answer, which I don't.
Then one more thing here, I noticed that most of the questions you're getting, they are network security questions. And yeah,
we can do some others, sure. I mean, it's a pretty small group tonight. If you want to run through and we can even make some others or bookmark some ones from specific domains we want to look at.
Oh, okay. I think I'm the one that selected the communication and network security, right?
It looks like that's mostly what we're getting right now. I think if you hit the 10 random, we could restart it and we'll get some from different domains.
What the right answer is first before you do that?
Yes, please. Yes. So we are going with B. We have more of B. Okay. There's actually a tie between A and B. What do we do? Vincent?
It's dealer's choice. Up to you, Sandy.
Okay, let's see. Because for me, I'm thinking it's C, but I would rather want to go with the popular votes for my. Okay, let's go with B.
Okay.
Oh, it was A.
Ramesh was the first one I saw drop that in there. I think he knew.
Yeah, so if I look at the question, right, so the last line which says which is the most appropriate deployment strategy for NIDS in the scenario to balance security and performance. So if you have your intrusion detection system on the mirror port, right, so you don't affect the traffic or the performance of the systems. So it just, it is a passive way of filtering or identifying your traffic. If you keep it in an, internal network, then it's going to obviously impact your performance. So that is the, the core key point that made me to choose that.
So would the technical implementation of that actually be the traffic gets doubled and it just sends it
Yeah.
2 places?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that would definitely make the most sense because it wouldn't affect the primary at all, right?
Yeah.
As the Chief Information Security Officer CISO of a multinational corporation, you are tasked to improve the security posture of your company's WAN infrastructure, which connects multiple branch offices across different countries. Most branches currently use outdated routing protocols and lack proper segmentation, exposing the network to potential attacks and inefficiencies. You plan to implement a strategy to enhance both security and performance. Which of the following approaches should you implement to achieve secure, efficient, and scalable WAN connectivity?
Yeah, I'm looking for where I can actually change that.
Yeah. If you exit that quiz, and then here's all these ones. I apologize. I do have to put the button to sort by the domains back in, but if you just scroll down the list, we can bookmark some from different domains, and we should be able to start it from that. Or we can just read the questions right here and scroll down to the answer too.
The
Oh
answers
no,
are
they're
already there.
highlighted. Yeah, sorry about that.
Mm.
If you
As
just,
for that domain, is it possible for me to change the network domain and change it to something else?
the easiest thing to do for right now is just go back to the quiz and then hit discard quiz in the top right there.
Or do I discard it?
Okay, and then we can start on the left. You see 10 random hard, the red. Yep. And this should get us from more balanced, just 10 random ones. So this one's for my management.
Okay, yeah, this is from identity. Okay, let's go with this.
In a hybrid cloud environment, a company wants to implement privileged access management for its critical systems. The company also aims to enable identity federation to provide seamless access across both on-premises and cloud resources. Which of the following techniques would best achieve these objectives?
So guys, I'm going to go with D. That's where we have most answers for. Yes, that was correct. So who wants to talk to us regarding this? There was something striking that gave it out for me. But let someone else talk first, then I'll probably give my own reason.
I was thrown by the just in time from that for that one.
Absolutely. That's because just in time is a function of is a function of the access, privileged access management. So that was what gave it for me, the just in time, because is an aspect of, let's see what they are here. Okay, they didn't explain the answer, but I think that was it. It's implemented by the PAM system. Right.
As the lead security engineer for a mid-sized financial institution, you are tasked with assessing the security posture of a critical internal application that handles sensitive customer transactions. The application resides on a set of virtual machines within a hybrid cloud environment. Your organization uses security information and event management SIEM for monitoring and has recently integrated an anomaly-based intrusion detection system NIDS. During the assessment, you need to ensure that the application is securely configured and that any potential vulnerabilities are identified and mitigated. Part of your task is to test the security controls in place, verify compliance with industry standards, and provide recommendations for improvements. Which of the following steps should you prioritize to effectively perform this assessment?
I think I'm gonna lock it in. Right. Let's lock it in. Absolutely. It was quite straightforward. There's all about the vulnerability that was to be assessed and mitigated.
During a security incident, a company's network security administrator identifies unusual traffic patterns indicating a potential data breach. The administrator needs to initiate a digital forensic investigation to determine the extent of the breach and identify the source of the attack. Which of the following actions should the administrator prioritize to ensure the integrity of the investigation?
It was quite straightforward. We've dealt with so many questions like this in the past. I think we should move to the next one. Does anybody want to explain or say something? Like it was pretty straightforward. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of it's like the preponderance of evidence or something, or the most volatile evidence first in digital forensics is what you would start with. So yeah, we have gone over this a few times, but I remember looking that up, and that's just something I had learned the last time we looked at a question like this.
Yeah, of course. The reason why you don't want to do something like A is because you will lose everything on the volatile memory, right? If you put it plug at that point, you will lose everything on the memory. You want to use a tool to probably take the forensic image. They call it bit by bit image, right? Yeah. Then of course you use a tool like volatility later to analyze the image that was taken. Then you see everything. That's sure you want to see.
Right.
Yeah. We use a tool like magnet forensic to do this. Yeah. Magnet forensic, then as well as also using some like FTK imager for the disk image as well. Can analyze that with an autopsy later. Yeah. We'll go to the next one.
Acme Corporation is expanding its operations and plans to set up a new office. The company's network security policy requires that all communications between the main office and satellite offices must be protected using cryptographic measures. However, the IT team has reported issues with network latency and performance when implementing certain encryption protocols. To address these concerns, the network architect proposes deploying a dedicated hardware-based encryption solution at the network perimeter of both locations. The solution must provide high-performance encryption without degrading network speeds and support secure authentication methods. Which encryption protocol and authentication mechanism should be implemented to meet these requirements?
Yeah, the only consideration I add about the certificate-based authentication is that of scalability. Yeah, it might not be too scalable, but of course, I'm sure that was not what they were looking at. And of course, IPsec is hardware, is deployed as hardware, unlike OpenVPN. Go to the next question.
A large financial institution is in the process of implementing a comprehensive security solution for their data center, which includes a layered defense strategy. The institution wants to ensure that unauthorized traffic is effectively blocked while allowing legitimate business traffic to flow unhindered. They are particularly concerned about sophisticated threats that might exploit allowed application connections. The decision has been made to use a combination of security devices. As a CISSP, you have been asked to recommend a solution that satisfies these requirements. Which combination of network security devices would best meet the institution's needs?
Wow, I choose because we have more A's in the answers in the charts. That's why I went for A actually.
The reason I went with C is because of the section about exploits, sophisticated threats that might exploit allowed application connection, and that sandboxing is going to help with that.
In what way?
Going to isolate your traffic.
And but that's the job of
so that it can't move laterally.
Application awareness, it also mentions in the explanation.
Yeah, of course. I think the reason why it was not really the answer because with a new generation firewall, you don't even need an intrusion prevention system anymore. The new
and I knew it was definitely one of the next generation answers because they're a large organization, and that's definitely what you want to use in that type of scenario.
Yeah, some bossing capability. Yeah. If we're satisfied with the explanation, then we can move to the next question. Thumbs up, then I take it away. Thank you.
A multinational corporation is experiencing a series of sophisticated attacks on its network, which includes branch offices across multiple continents. The company's security team decides to implement a strategy to detect and mitigate potential lateral movement within their internal network. They want to use a solution that can provide real-time monitoring and response capabilities, and also integrate with their existing security information and event management SIEM system to enhance visibility and correlation. Which solution should they implement, and why is it the most effective choice for this scenario?
Yeah, for this one, we're having more answers coming for D, network behavior analysis. Okay, so should I go with D then?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. correct. But my reservation about that so is that the network behavioral analysis is actually a capability of a good SIEM system like Splunk. Is inbuilt, so I don't know why you want to be implementing it alongside again. Splunk, for example, comes with a network behavioral analytic tools that is monitoring. If you give the baseline, the behavioral baseline before you as one of the configuration. So to be implementing it alongside was actually my reservation. It should be in a good sense.
A little bit just so I can see the rest of that option B, why it's not option B. Because I was between D and B and I ultimately went with D.
Even the B was the same thing. The B and okay, for example, yes.
So they say response capabilities though.
The B and D is actually the same thing. There's nothing different in the B and D.
Yeah, scroll down to the explanation. I want to see the one where it says why B is incorrect.
Okay, yeah, right here.
Thank you. I figured it might not integrate with the SIEM.
Well, we can go to the next question. If we're satisfied, let me know. Okay, thank you.
A multinational corporation has recently implemented a new encrypted email solution to ensure the confidentiality of internal communications. However, there have been reports of delayed email deliveries and some emails not arriving at all. The IT security department suspects that this might be due to issues related to email encryption and decryption processes implemented on their mail servers. As a CISSP certified professional, which technical aspect should you prioritize investigating to resolve this issue?
This just seems like a problem you could throw more compute at and solve, right?
That what?
This question, it just seems like we could just throw more compute at it and it would solve the problem. That's why I went with A.
Well, you're specifically going for internal email, and your encryption keys may be too long, too complicated.
Yeah, I'm interested on this one.
But if your encryption keys are too long, you don't want to bring it down because of that, right? I'm sure there are other ways to be able to boost that network capability to process that.
Yeah.
You don't want to shorten your encryption key and compromise the whole thing because the latency, right? I don't think you want to do that. Is the answer should be between A and C, right? The bandwidth. I think let's go with A. We have more answers coming for A, right? Yes. Let me see. Where did they start from? Okay. Oh, that's plenty D there. Okay. I think the AC average with just one. Should I go with A?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see the explanation. Yeah, you can see why B was not a good answer. It will weaken the encryption implementation. If we are cool with this, thumbs up, then we'll take it away. Right, thank you.
An organization has recently suffered a data breach due to a misconfigured firewall, leading to unauthorized access to sensitive data. As the new Chief Information Security Officer CISO, you are tasked with implementing a more robust network security posture. The organization has a complex network infrastructure with a mix of legacy systems and modern cloud services. You decide to deploy a network access control NAC system to enhance security. Which of the following strategies should you adopt to ensure optimal NAC implementation, considering the need to accommodate both legacy systems and modern cloud services?
That was correct. Hybrid approach was the best approach to this. Okay. Let's see the explanation. Right. Yeah, that was exactly what I thought. Yeah.
The answer is in the question, the last sentence, to accommodate both legacy systems and modern cloud-based services.
Absolutely. For the cloud-based services, you need the agentless. For the legacy, you need the agent one. We'll move to the next question.
In a large enterprise network environment, a security incident response team has identified a potential data breach involving sensitive customer information. During the digital forensics investigation, the team needs to collect volatile data from multiple compromised servers to analyze the extent of the breach. However, The team is concerned about inadvertently altering or contaminating the volatile data on these servers. Which of the following strategies should the team implement to minimize the risk of altering volatile data during collection?
Hey guys, I got to pick up a call that's coming in. I'm going to drop. Osande, thank you very much. Thomas, I'll reach out to you, and I'll see you guys Monday. Chris, good luck if I don't talk to you.
All right. We'll see you on Monday then. Thank you.
Bye.
So let's see. What are options coming in? We have so many A's. Okay. We'll go with A.
I'm a little torn on this one because
What do you think?
if you're doing a disk image, then you're missing stuff that may be in RAM.
Exactly. That's why the answer, I think the answer is B, but I just wanted to go with the popular vote. The answer is
I'm leaning toward B at this point too. My answer was A, but I think I'm going to switch mine to B.
absolutely. There's a question like this, and I spoke on it earlier. It's exactly the same thing. If you do a disk image, you have to put all the computer and take a disk image. This is an FTK imager, for example. You will lose everything on the RAM. Everything on RAM is going. But when you do a live forensic memory acquisition, you get everything on RAM, and then you can analyze with volatility. You know, it's something I just recently worked on actually, so I'm quite fresh with it. But let's see. I'm thinking it's B actually. With A, the everything on RAM. So should I go with B? Go with the popular A votes.
Popular A vote.
Absolutely, which was correct. But let's see.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No explanation to why A was correct.
Why is B incorrect? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Main information integrity.
Yeah, like forensics.
And utter volatile data. This is not so straight. I don't know.
That's a tricky one.
Because if you are doing a disk image analysis, taking a disk image, you will lose everything on the RAM. Okay, what happened with everything that's supposed to be in a RAM?
I mean, I could see if it was a virtual machine and you're doing an image of the entire machine. But when they say disk image, that's kind of misleading.
So now, when you want to do in a virtual machine, what you do there will be taking a snapshot, and that is likened to live forensic. I mean, that's likened to you having the memory, everything on memory to be able to do the forensic memory analysis. You know,
exactly.
In disk image, that system is shut down already, and you lose everything that was on memory, on RAM. So that's
exactly. That's why I switched my answer to B. But even though it seemed like doing it on a
live system, right?
Live system, yeah, it could be risky. It seemed right because it was just talking about disk images.
But analysis is just an examination. You know, they were more talking about minimizing the risk, you know.
True.
So that's why I lean towards A.
Of altering volatile data during collection.
But it also says the team needs to collect volatile data from the multiple compromised system. And I think your volatile data would be the stuff in RAM. And if you're doing just a disk image and it's not a virtual machine, you're not getting that volatile data.
As a matter of fact, A will only capture non-volatile memory, not non-volatile data.
Yeah.
That's what it will capture. So I don't know why that should be the answer.
I mean, can't you hook up tools to the whatever it is, it was the network or, you know, a computer?
Yeah. If you do that, that's live forensic. That's different from, you know, when you want to take a disk image, the system is shut down, then you use a tool like FTK Imager or Make Forensic to just take the disk image, right? That's at that time, everything that was on memory on the RAM would have all been gone.
Yeah, I mean, if it said snapshot of a virtual machine or something like that, I would have definitely said yes. That's it.
That's a live one. Nothing is gone. Nothing will be lost because you took the restate of the machine before you did anything there.
Yeah, but B is saying forensic analysis is not talking about collection. It's just examining here, while the other one is, I mean, it's maybe not be the right answer, but it's the best answer, you know?
Well, if the question was trying to, okay, now the question and answer contradictory, because You don't want to alter the volatile data, but you are losing it. A is making you not alter it, but you don't even have it. It's gone, right? That's what it means.
Yeah.
A will make you not lose it, but you don't even have it. Not talk of losing it. You can't lose what you don't have. At the time you are taking the disk image, everything on memory is gone. Everything on RAM is gone. And that's supposed to be the volatile data that we're talking about.
But what about using a write blocker, for that there to capture the information?
Write blocker is not taking a disk image. If I can remember properly, I think write blocker is taking a live volatile memory. Of course, I think a write blocker will work here, but not image taker. Yeah, so that's why the question seems contradictory, kind of.
Right.
If a write blocker was in the option, that's what I would have gone for. It's the best thing that you want to use here. Anyways, we had a good evening, right? I'm sure we were able to learn as much as we could. We're not at the top of it. Do you want to continue or call it tonight?
Let's just finish. We only have one question.
Oh, just one question to go. Right. Good. Right there. Networking question.
A multinational corporation has experienced several security incidents involving unauthorized access to sensitive data through its internal network. The company's Chief Information Security Officer CISO has determined that the network is not sufficiently segmented, allowing lateral movement of malicious actors once they gain initial access. To address this issue, the CISO has tasked you with implementing a microsegmentation strategy to limit access and movement within the network. Given the company's use of a software-defined network SDN architecture, which of the following actions should you take to effectively implement microsegmentation and enhance security?
This one is leaning towards D. Let's go with D and see what happens. Absolutely. All right, guys. I think we had a good one tonight. We'll do this again on Monday. Thank you guys for showing up tonight, and have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you for leading there, Yasandra.
Sure. It's a pleasure.
Also, good luck, Chris, on your exam coming this week.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck to you.